one of the ways to increase the performance of your professional services business while aligning it with your values is to create a manifesto. A manifesto is a public declaration of intent. It tells people inside and outside your business what matters to you. It shares your values. Values are how you decide. And therefore, when you have a manifesto, it is easier to make better decisions as far as what client to work with and what team members to welcome on board and what strategic decisions to make. A manifesto takes time to develop, but you should start working on it today because it can be just as simple as a list of bullet point convictions that explains what is your philosophy, what is your approach. A manifesto shuts down what is the past and opens up to a brighter future, a future that aligns with your mission, that hopefully opens up possibilities towards a greater opportunity for your community. A manifesto is a document that helps you filter your decisions. It's really at the core of your strategic narrative that I define as a system of stories, practices, and norms that helps you increase narrative power for your business. So let me show you an example. I'm going to show you the example of the manifesto that my client Rick Dorset published on his website now a few years ago. If you go to rickdorset.com, you will find it. It's on his menu here. We click on manifesto, and his manifesto is just simple. It's just clear, and he called it "What Inspires Me." This is my public declaration of policy and aims. And he simply listed the core principles that he runs his practice based upon. So from top to bottom, you'll have courage is freedom, relationships are primary, everything else is derivative. The only way to mobilize people is around purpose. And the list goes on. I'll let you read. But hopefully you can see here that what Rick is doing is just putting in words what are the priority aspects of the work that he does. And he does this really succinctly, simply, with words that everybody can understand. He also does it with the intent that it will help you decide if you align with his values, and therefore it will help you also make a better decision in being interested when you're interested in working with Rick. You will know what to expect. You pretty much know how Rick rolls when you work with him. It is a simple page that you can add today. It doesn't have to be this fleshed out multi-pages document. A manifesto sometimes takes the form of a book. But before you get there, we still need to know what is your belief systems. What are the things that you really put front and center when you operate, when we work with you? So it doesn't have to be a book yet. It can be just a simple list of things that you start developing, 3 to 5 points that tell us what you prioritize and how you care and what you care about when you do your work. See, manifestos really operate as an anchor in making all sorts of decisions in your business. They define you, they define us, they polarize people, they will help us identify if we agree with you, if you have an opinion, and if you stand for something. And therefore, your manifesto will help us take action to potentially call you, have a conversation with you. So a manifesto is a great sales tool. That's often something that is really missing in the systems that we put in place when we want to sell more efficiently and more effectively. We want to align with our ideal clients, but we don't even give them a chance to succinctly and briefly read what we believe in. So I invite you to start this work today. Just simply put a page on your website, or it could be at the end of your email signature, or it could be something that you send in a PDF document. The metaphor that I like to use here as a metaphor I'd like to borrow to somebody who says, it's someone who said, I can't remember who, but somebody who said, nail your proclamations at the door of your church, so that before we enter, we make a conscious decision. We make an intentional choice in walking in, knowing exactly what the foundational principles that church are going to be. Help us decide if we first want to align about why you do this work, right? Give us a chance to decide if we want to believe the same things as you believe. Maybe you are a leadership coach and you believe that leadership is essential, that it's the primary thing that people should really invest in. Well, tell us that and tell us why, and explain to us why we should believe the same, and then we can make a more informed decision about why and whether we should follow this principle. Where maybe you are an architect and maybe you work with the principle of co-construction, like or human-centered design, and maybe that's really how you make your design more successful. So let us know upfront that this is how we're going to work with you. Let me try to find an example. Maybe you are a financial advisor and you believe that the first foundational layer is to get rid of any debts, right? So tell us that before we can build wealth, we're going to have to get rid of any debts, if that's your belief, if that should be in your manifesto. You can have a manifesto even before you have a business. You can start, it doesn't cost anything. You can start right away listing what you feel is important in the criteria for shaping the kind of work that matters to you. You can evolve it over time. You can think of it as a piece of software. Maybe there is a V1 today, and every 6 months or every year or more often, if you'd like, you review it and you update it based on your most recent experience, most recent reflections that you've done through your meaningful publications or conversations with people around you, participations to conferences, and so on. And a manifesto at some point becomes something more mature and will stabilize. If I take, for example, the case of Google. Google wrote many years ago a piece called 10 things we know to be true. And let me bring it on screen for you. 10 things we know to be true was written in, I think, in the mid-90s, and is still to this day something that Google will follow. These are the 10 commandments of Google. They are the 10 core principles or convictions, however you want to call them, but you have them available. Anybody can go to this page. Again, a manifesto is a public declaration of intent, so it should be visible by anyone. It's not an internal document only. It is internal, absolutely, but it's also external. It's for everyone to see the beliefs and the philosophy and the principles by which your team will operate more purposefully, by which you will grow a company that is more resilient, that is more willful, that is more intentional. Everything I've just described in this video is a core activity to grow narrative power, your ability to influence and maybe dictate the norms, the actions, and the beliefs, and the way you want to do business, so that your business is more sustainable, more successful, grows at the pace that you want, and most importantly, a business that you love because it aligns with what you believe. All right, I hope this helped. And as always, I welcome your comments and questions, and I look forward to seeing your manifestos on your website. Thank you.